Hello everyone. Today I'm on the Florida Trail, currently on a short road walk, headed to Cypress Creek, or Cypress Lake Preserve, and I'll be hiking roughly 7 miles to Crooked River Campground and spending the night. This road I'm hiking beside is pretty busy today, so I'll be glad when I get back on the trail, which is right up the road here. It's not very far. I've had some things I had to do this morning, so I'm starting this hike out a little late. Started a little after 1 o'clock. Should be about a 2.5 hour hike. Maybe a little bit more depending on how much stopping I do for filming. This will be my first backpacking trip on the channel, so I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be 14 miles round trip. 7 miles to Crooked River, where I'm going to set up the hammock and camp there and cook a steak on the fire and hike back in the morning. Should have some good weather for it tonight. It's supposed to get down to 69. I've been looking forward to this weather since March. So should be a good trip. I just ran into a guy who got on the trail over at the firehouse, and he's doing a loop. He's just going to get out on the road and follow the road to 50 and hike back to trailhead by the firehouse. Don't usually run into too many people on this trail, but then again, usually not on it this time of day. Usually on it in the morning. Yeah, it sure is beautiful out here. They've done a lot of work out here too. I see, looks like they've been mowing very recently because I can see the tire tracks for the lawnmower. You're keeping it up pretty nice. Still in water underneath the bridge. I thought for sure it would be a little bit. Still kind of low. Starting to hear traffic from 50, so we're getting close. All right, I made it out of Cypress Lake Preserve. I'm alongside 50, fixing to go over the Withlacoochee River. It's a busy road. I sure am glad I'm in between these two walls. Whew. It's hot out here in the sun. Gotta get back in the shade. The Florida Trail goes about a quarter mile alongside 50, and then I'll take a right up here at this next road, and it'll bring me back into the woods, and then I'll be in Croom. And I'll take the river trail on around, and that'll take me to Crooked River. This intersection right here kind of screws up a lot of thru hikers. It's confusing because it's not marked very well. I don't see any marking. So if you're not following an app, or if you've never been here before, you're gonna probably keep going and get lost, or end up on the bike trail. I don't know the name of this road off the top of my head because there wasn't a sign, but I'll put it on the screen here. But you take this road to until it takes this 90 degree, and you want to go straight. You want to go through this fence. So you can just climb over this, and it gets you into Croom. Be very careful with the barbed wire there. They left barbed wire on this. I don't know why the hell they did that, but and it's rusty too. Woo, back in the shade. It's nice in the shade, but getting out in that sun, it's hot. I think it's in the mid 80s right now. It's not as sticky today. There's not as much humidity, but in that sun, it got me to sweating. All right, we're to the intersection of the river trail. I'm gonna make a right here. That'll keep us on the Florida Trail. I did a video on this river channel loop, or river trail loop. I'll post a link to it in the description. It's like a 3-mile hike if you want to get a quick hike in, and it's very popular. Grass is pretty growed up on this part of the trail. Just about to the river. I think it's right up here on the corner. But I've never seen this section of trail in this rough a shape. There it is. Hope you can see that through the trees. But we're at the river. This trail will run alongside the river most of the way until we get to the campground. I'm 3.5 miles into the hike. That's pretty much halfway. There's a little rapid section up here on the river. I usually stop there, take a break. I think I'm gonna do that. I need to get back into shape. Hauling an extra 30 pounds on your back, it makes a difference. This river sure is pretty through here. I'd love to get the kayak out and run through here. Yep, time to get back on trail. Gotta get to the camp. Got about 3 miles to go. We come to an intersection. You take a right on the trail, it takes you on the loop I told you about earlier, on the river trail loop, which is a blue trail. This will loop back around to the parking lot where the bike trail is. We're going to continue going north on the Florida Trail. Have a nice look out here over the river with a bench. Dog agrees. And then this cool little metal bridge that I've never seen water underneath. That weed with the love bugs on it, I was walking through and I hit it with my leg and I got swarmed by love bugs. Kind of freaked me out a little bit at first until I realized what they were. That's pretty cool. I never really seen them gather on a weed like that before. I know they stay in the grass, but see something new every time you come out here. The trail comes out alongside this tree farm. And it can get pretty hot. It's kind of out in the open. They keep you up against the woods here. But I usually go through here in the morning, and I'm right in the sun. But this time of day might be the best time to go through here. You want to make sure you go the right way on this one. This will take us out of the tree farm and back into the woods a little bit. We're still alongside the river. I'm glad to be in the shade. Well, it's good to know we're still in Florida. I'm pretty sure that bottom board says trail. This is another pretty cool tree along the trail. There's some beautiful oaks in this section of the trail. There's another one right up ahead. If that wasn't over the trail, that'd be an awesome place to hang the hammock on one branch. There's another one. That's some old trees. Well, I'm probably about a half mile from camp, and I had to change my water bottle. It ran out, and so I decided to take a little break. It is hot. It's a little bit warm to be doing this. I probably should have left earlier in the morning. But other than that, it's been a really good hike. Haven't seen any wildlife though. So I guess got to get out here earlier to see that. Only passed one person on the trail, and that was 5 miles back. And it's been pretty quiet. But I'll sit around here for another maybe 10 minutes or so, and then head to camp and start setting up. Well, we made it to the campground. This is the campsite I wanted to get, but I also wanted to be away from everybody, and I kind of wish I had done it now because there ain't nobody here. But I've camped here a few times, and it's right next to the bathrooms and the shower. Yeah, these are all empty. It's a nice campground. It's usually nice and quiet. And before we go to our campsite, let's look at the river. This is the river access for Crooked River. This is where you would launch your kayak if you have one. It's pretty decent. I haven't been down here in I guess it's been a couple months. Actually, I think it's been more than a couple months. As we camped in our Amex. Look at that. That's pretty cool how that cypress tree is in the middle of the river. There we go. Home for the night. Well, after walking around the campsite and seeing what I have for trees, most of my trees are out in the back part of the campsite, but they're pretty good ways away from the fire pit and table. So I decided on these two trees here. I know they're kind of far apart, but I've got 15-foot straps, so I should be able to make this work. And I'll be right here by the table and the campfire. So I think that's what I'm going to do. The tree's got some vines on it. I'm gonna make sure I don't look like poison ivy. Nope, looks good to me. I think this one will work too. Well, I'm all set up and got all my stuff inside, and I'm ready for sleep tonight. I guess now I'd still go ahead and start getting the fire going so I can get a good coal bed to cook the steaks. Hello everyone. It's the next day and I'm at home. I didn't do any more filming after the fire because I got pretty sick. I felt, as soon as I got to camp, I felt like I started feeling bad. And the longer I was there, the worse I got. And as it turns out, I was dehydrated. Apparently I wasn't drinking enough water. on my trip. And I didn't realize that could make you that sick, but yeah, I was feeling pretty bad. So, needless to say, it put an end to my trip. My wife came and picked me up, and I was pretty sore. I had never been that sore after a hike. I guess, I mean, I was even taking um, electrolytes, and still, apparently it was enough. But mistakes were made, um, a few of them. The first one, of course, was not drinking enough water. Yeah, I should have. I had plenty of water, but I didn't drink it all on the whole trip. Um, I guess the next big mistake was taking off at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in the heat. It was a lot hotter yesterday than I thought it was going to be, and it took its toll on me. I should have never left the hike that late, and I paid for it. And I'll never do that again. I knew better than that. I knew better than to take off in the heat of the day. Another mistake I made was carrying way too much weight. I had too much stuff. I didn't use half the stuff that I had in my backpack. I was probably 10 pounds overweight on the backpack. That was another factor that kicked my butt yesterday. Um, anyway, I'm sorry I didn't get to finish my trip. I was really looking forward to spending the night in the hammock and hiking back, but I knew there was no way I was going to be able to do that the way I was feeling last night. So, with that said, I'm going to give this video an end, and I hope you like what I had filmed already. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I have videos like this every Sunday, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Thank you.